because we're kind of gonna.
Walter?
But no, we haven't got you.
But I'm hesitant to have a conversation with her when it means otherwise. This is a personal tax letter delivery for you from College Choice.
Let's go ahead and call finance to order. Finance Committee meeting for February the 5th, 2024.
We can't, no.
Councilor Jones. Councilor Gwaltney. Allemon. Smith.
Here.
Hardin.
Here.
You got three.
Well, looks like it. You and me, John.
Yeah, we don't have
Motions
one.
and seconds. Yeah, we do. Three.
Oh, we count you, don't we?
Yeah, he just can't. He just can't make a motion.
All right, is there a motion to dispense with the reading of improvement as distributed?
Second.
Okay, second. Councilor Smith, second by Councilor Hardin. Any questions, comments? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, vote same sign. That passes 3-0. 2006-23, Mayor, consideration of city manager. Do we have anything additional tonight on this? Okay. Well, welcome back.
Thank you. Glad to be back.
I'm glad you're back.
Can you give a quick, brief reintroduction, you know?
Yeah.
Come here, tell us your
You
name,
look
tell us
familiar.
Yeah, exactly.
I appreciate it. This is much better than the trying case. So I expect that by the next meeting, we've talked to the state to try to get an update on the map. By the next meeting, we should have a map. Hopefully I'll have something on the petition at that point as well. The first run through on the group to do that did a little bit more than, quite frankly, we're even legally allowed to do in terms of advancing the issue beyond the petition. So I'm getting a revised proposal from them and should have that at the next meeting as well. I can't remember if I said this at the last meeting. We did find out that the runoff is in the eventual likely runoff of the general election primary. This in March will be in April, so while they're not telling us that April's off, there's a good chance April's off, so we're probably looking more like May, which should work fine, like I said, as long as things keep progressing the way that they are. I think that's sort of the goal right now, is try to shoot for May.
Okay. Any questions? Yes.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
When we were talking about the map, was the map created and the state is approving it, or is the state creating the map?
State's creating the map, because they have to create, even if we weren't doing this, the state would
Yeah.
have to look at the map to make sure it matched up with the census data. It just happens to fall at the same time.
Yeah.
But it's always got to match the census data, so that's all we told them to do, was to do the map based on the current census data, but do it with 4 wards instead of 5.
Perfect. I think that was my misunderstanding. I wanted to clarify it so I could tell people correctly.
Yeah, no, the state's drawing the map.
Okay,
Yeah.
awesome. Thank you, sir.
Sure.
All right. Any other questions? Hearing none, we'll carry that over without objection. Okay, new business, 10-01-24, request to authorize the mayor to sign an agreement with AlDOT for the operation of traffic control signals along 31 and Lakeshore. Mr. Smith.
So AlDOT came to us in early January. We currently have an agreement in place for the operation and maintenance for traffic signals along Highway 31 and 149, which is Lakeshore. So AlDOT is doing a lot of traffic signal retimings along 31, and so they wanted to take that part of the agreement out of the contract and execute a new contract. So we will continue to maintain the signals. AlDOT will be responsible for the operations.
So every time somebody says, those lights are messed up, we'll say, sorry, not us, we'll have to call AlDOT and never get an answer.
If the complaint is that that somebody's having to sit for a really long time out of signal, then that would be an AlDOT thing.
Right.
If it's that they're shut off or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
it's
no,
an
that'll
AlDOT.
be us, right, yeah, no, but it'll be the other
It'll-
thing.
right,
It'll be the other thing.
I have 2 questions. The crosswalk at Ponciana by Shades Cava, no one's acknowledging anybody's emails about that, and that's, needs to be repainted. That's
Yes.
AlDOT.
True. So we have, the AlDOT conference starts tomorrow in Birmingham, and I'll be there for it, and I'll try to track down people.
Get them, Kale.
I'll add that to my list.
Because the woman.
Bring some paint.
I know her, and she is persistent, and she is not.
You have
giving
to
Well, I
up.
be,
mean,
you have to be.
I mean, yeah, I mean, there's no
I-
way to get
yeah.
anything done without being persistent with them.
The
All right, well-
second thing, I'm sorry, one
Oh,
more
I'm
thing,
sorry,
quick
yeah,
thing.
you did
The light, and I had kind of passed this on a couple different times to Randy to get to AlDOT. The light that's in front of Brookwood right now that they just put back up is really unnecessary.
They're gonna take it out.
Oh,
of
thank
service.
God. Okay, they shouldn't have put it back up. I mean, it came down in the storm. They should never put it back up.
It's just not necessary.
They're gonna
It's
back.
not
They're gonna
necessary.
back it.
Okay, they are gonna
Yeah.
back it,
Based on
okay.
quality.
Okay,
It's not
thanks. That's
necessary.
right.
I like it.
Okay, so, I guess we do need to make a motion to, change the agreement and have the mayor sign the agreement with AlDOT to take over the operation of the traffic signals.
All right,
Control.
is that, you're making the motion?
I am making the
Second.
Counselor Smith, Counselor Harden, seconding it. Okay, just a question. Is there a need to do this? I mean, I like having control
Yeah, me
over
too.
the lights and not turning it over to AlDOT. Mayor, do you support this? I mean, I just don't like, I don't like, every time that we've given control to AlDOT, it has not been, successful. And I understand, but could I get maybe a reason why we should do this?
I mean, from the information that Kale's given us, I don't know that there's a reason not to, except for the simple fact that, I mean, yes, sometimes Aldott does take a little too long. Green Springs is, you know, has been not Green Springs, the interstate, between Berkeley, I mean, they have their issues for sure. I mean, it's,
So Aldott, a couple of years ago, put in a program called RTOP, where they are retiming traffic signals from Shelby County all the way up 31 to North Birmingham, and then also all the way along 280. So Aldott is doing a regional plan to time traffic signals, so with the intent that you would be able to start in Pelham and drive all the way to North Birmingham and never hit a red light. Of course, it doesn't work like that. But in order for them to technically do all of it, they've asked all the municipalities, because of RTOP, to execute this new agreement.
and I know Vestavia did, because I talked to Jeff Downs this morning.
Lauren, do we need to draw any more hours?
Okay.
Understand where Walter's coming from.
Well, I do too.
So, no, I mean, I don't think anybody
No, we all-
argues the fact that.
But we also, do we need to draw
But-
any hours from them? Probably.
Does the agreement have any SLAs or anything that's punitive toward Aldott to actually get things done in a timely manner?
SLAs?
service level agreement.
Like times associated with, we need you to repair this light, or.
No,
I
we
say
would
they need
repair.
something like that.
Yeah,
We
they just
repair.
time, they just
We
time
repair,
the
this is
signal.
just
Oh. This
the,
is
just for the
the
timing.
operations of it, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
If the timing's not working on it, then we'd have to call Aldott.
Any
But
maintenance
if it goes
issues.
down completely, then we would maintain.
Could we not inbound their changes they wanna make and do them ourselves?
It's a program, I guess, they're using.
Right, they probably have a system that
Well,
they're
if they're,
doing all the way
if they're
through.
also gonna tie it to the rest of it, if they're trying to do the
I
entire.
mean, they're all state roads anyway, I mean, they're not gonna, I can tell you, they're not gonna sell that. I mean, this their roadway. I mean, we can work on them and get them back going faster than they will, of course, but the timing of it's gonna be strictly demanded on them and what they're trying to do on all of them.
Just only means what we want.
I know that's not a great answer for you.
No, yeah, I understand. Okay, any other questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed by the same sign. 4-0, that passes. That was Zuber.
Yeah, lots of enthusiasm.
Did you have a question?
No, you were talking about Lake Shore. It's been functioning for a while, as far as the light changing. Does that interfere with Aldott? I mean, as far as going from Shelby County all the way, I don't think
No, this would, the timing is just on 31.
that's 31 on it, right?
No, they're taking-
It'd be Lake Shore too,
It's Lake Shore
149.
too.
See,
But yeah, 149 is included in the agreement.
Yeah, because it's their
I mean, the
roadway.
biggest problem you have at Lake
That's
Shore
not ours.
is the turn signal at the Shell station and the next light. If it coincide, one turns and then the other one turns the opposite way. I mean, you're sitting there 5 minutes, actually, especially.
So all lights on Lake Shore would be part of this agreement.
Agreement, that's right. This is, the Lake Shore agreement is separate than the 31 agreement.
But right now, we can put issues in with Randy, is that how that we would still put them in the system? You know, you can still file the complaint on the system, and they would funnel that information to Aldott, right?
Right.
So,
He communicates with them daily, I think.
Is 18th Street part of that?
18th Street is not in Aldott.
No.
Okay.
Okay, thank you for that. 110124, request for consideration of placing full page ad in Chamber of Commerce magazine.
Oh, sorry. Yes, this is the ad that we did. This is the same ad that we did last year. It's gonna be the same price as last year. It's $17.95. And we do have that in the budget.
17.
$17.95, it's budgeted. So just, I guess, would be a request to place the full page ad at $17.95 as budgeted for in the Chamber of Commerce magazine.
I'm on the board.
Oh, sure. I'll make a motion for approval.
Okay, moved by Mr. Gwaltney,
I'll second.
second. All right, any other questions on that? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed by the same sign. 4-0. 120124, request to authorize the mayor to acquire Alabama firefighter disability insurance. Mr. Burgett, so is this the cancer?
This is for the cancer policy that was legislated back in 1/1/20. At the time, we increased, that policy, that legislation requires the city to obtain a $3,000 per month disability policy for all firefighters if they were to contract any type of cancer and be permanently disabled. And it pays them $3,000 a month for a period of 36 months with a 6-month elimination period. At the time, we increased our long-term disability for the city to $3,000, thinking that we would cover, everyone by doing that. Where there's a shortfall in this is if an employee is no longer covered. We only cover our employees through year 10. After year 10, they become vested in the RSA. Then their disability is paid through RSA if they become permanently disabled after 10 years. The shortfall is if you take a firefighter, a 19 with 10 years of experience, with 10 years of service, his retirement benefit is not going to be $3,000. That's where our shortfall comes in. So if you take a firefighter that earns $70,000, has 10 years of service, he is only going to draw $1,274 in disability at that time. So that's the shortfall that we have. The city can look to self-insure on that, like we do on the workers' comp, or we can purchase a policy which is offered through Hartford, through Millennial Risk Management, to cover that, and the cost of that is, and this is for every firefighter that is employed with the city, the cost of that is $7,425 annually to cover that shortfall. Now,
Explain that again, Robert.
Okay, all right.
I got 10 years of service, I get cancer.
Correct.
I got.
RSA does it.
RSA's not covering it until how long?
No, if you become permanently disabled after 10 years of service,
Right.
your disability is covered through RSA, not through
Okay,
the city of
okay,
Homewood.
all right.
From hire date to 10 years, the city has a long-term policy on you.
Right, I got that.
A person has to have a 10-year fireman that is a 1910, and he has become disabled. His retirement benefit is not going to equal $3,000 a month. The state act requires us to carry a $3,000 disability policy for a period of 36 months on that firefighter that becomes disabled due to cancer. RSA doesn't reach that limit. So there is a policy that'll fill that gap. And basically, this policy that Hartford is offering, it is a secondary disability policy. If it will pay the firefighter the benefit up to $3,000 after any primary coverage. That's basically all it is. It's secondary coverage for disability.
So essentially, they'd get their disability payment from RSA, let's say it's $1,200. The secondary policy would come in and pay up to $3,000 to make that, to meet that legislative.
Meet that legislative act. And that legislative act requires the city to pay them that $3,000 for 36 months.
Okay, and I see
Yeah, Mr.
Alex.
President.
Yeah, I was just gonna add one thing to everything Robert says, right? The one thing I was gonna add is, so we had Cops Allen look at this to make
That's
sure
what's gonna be my question.
So to
Cops
make sure
Allen.
that we were hitting whatever number we needed to hit,
Mhm.
this was their recommendation of what we should do. And
To do
that's-
this secondary
that-
policy.
Correct.
Okay.
Now, Cobbs Island did offer us another option, and they have a policy that they can write specifically for firefighters over 10 years of service. But the issue with that is it's still a 60% benefit policy. So if a firefighter is not earning more than $60,000 a year, he's not going to get his $3,000.
So
We're
that
still
still
gonna be
doesn't
short.
really help us, that
Yeah.
still doesn't help us solve the
So-
problem.
This is the easiest way to get
Okay.
to what the state requires.
And this is really kind of crazy. We thought we were covered, and then we got to looking at it and thinking about it, and it's like, oh man, a firefighter with 15 or 20 years of service is gonna get his retirement benefits. It's that 10 years,
that gap.
15 years, low
Sure.
income that's not gonna get there.
All right, and that, so the cost of this would be $7,425 per year?
$7,425 per year to cover all firefighters.
All firefighters that are employed by the city of
That are
Homewood.
employed by the city, yes, ma'am.
Okay, then I would make a motion to, have the mayor sign the, agreement to have the Alabama firefighter disability insurance policy for $7,425 per year to cover that disability gap.
I'll second.
Go ahead, John.
I'll second.
Mr. Harden. And this is not budgeted.
It is not budgeted. It is in the workers' comp line. I don't know we need a budget amendment at this time.
Okay, so to come out of the workers' comp.
And I can say this, we will not need a budget amendment at this time because our workers' comp was quoted on our original salary request that was submitted to council before y'all cut any of the positions. So it's gonna come back lower than, for the year than what we paid.
And this policy's with Hartford, right?
It's with Hartford through Millennial Risk Management, yes, sir.
And we used to use AMIC. Do we still use AMIC?
No.
Or anything? Okay, good. That's what I was hoping the answer would be. Okay, any other questions? All right, hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed by the same sign. 4-0, that passes.
Got too many criminals.
130124, request for consideration of
John
budget
Morgan.
amendments, coming to us from John Morgan in the court.
Got too
Let
many
me,
criminals.
I added the
Hey
auditor
there,
too.
how are you?
If you don't mind, I had, at the last minute, I realized that there was an email concerning a budget amendment for the engineering department. There were 4 purchase orders from the FY '23 year that were encumbered, they were not rolled over to this year, and they are affecting his engineering budget. And I would like to request that, since they were already encumbered POs, that we need to carry over that amount from carryover fund balance in the amount of $32,863 to engineering services. And that will put him back at his full budget for the year.
Why are we over on that?
They were FY '23 purchase orders that were not paid in '23, they were paid in '24, or gonna be paid in '24, and they were not rolled over in the budget. They were just missed and not rolled over in the budget. They should have been added to his budget because they were encumbered POs.
And with the
But the
new
last year expenses.
I know, but with the new system, hopefully we know what POs are encumbered that would have to go in the new budget.
They
correct?
should
I
be
mean,
now, but the issue with this is the money was budgeted last year. It was returned to fund balance at the end of the year.
Right.
Now we're requesting it to come out of fund balance and go
I
back
know,
into.
but what I'm asking is that with the new system that we're looking at, is there a way to see what POs are out there that
Yeah.
are not gonna be paid that need to be budgeted?
Right, the way we're doing it now is manually. We're having to physically look at all the POs, send them to the department, say, which one would you like, what do we need to carry over? So it's being done manually, and in the next version, it will not have to be done
Okay,
manually.
that was my question.
Yes.
So in code 10,
Correct.
that'll be.
Okay, and then you've got the bailiff, admin, part-time assistant.
Yeah, I apologize, I didn't have time to send these out, but I didn't have time. Now, all the positions that John's asking to get funded, they're all from court revenue. It'll be from Fund 22, from 28. I just didn't have time to slot them it will not come out of general fund, it'll come out of his court revenue. And then he's also asking for $22,000 of the judicial carryover fund balance to be transferred to, I'm sorry, I have a typo there. It should be Fund 28, overtime earnings for security for the court. He's having to pay the police officers security in the court till he gets bailiffs hired and some people to offer security for his court.
Okay, so these are 2 separate things. We've got
Yes, ma'am.
The one-
the employees, the positions, and then we've got the transfer to pay for the security over time.
Correct.
And these part-time bailiffs, part-time admin folks are in our budget.
They were budgeted, they were removed
They
during
were
the budget
removed.
hearings.
Okay.
Because we cut
Yeah,
positions.
I remember.
Michael, we need 2 separate,
No, you can do them all at one.
do them all at one time?
Yeah, it's just all under the
Okay.
budget amendment.
Okay,
You
okay.
just send me the information on those.
And you can have this one.
I gotta put the account numbers on here, I don't have them on there.
Okay.
Do we get justification why we're adding these positions back? I might missed that.
Cause he needs a staff to run a court, is my guess.
They don't have anybody today over there to do that kind of work?
They don't have.
John, you've had several,
Right here.
you've had several, you had one resign today, did you not?
Yes.
Yeah.
Here he is, right there.
But that's an empty funded position. I already had one frozen full-time position. I wanted to have finance. In the 3 bailiff positions, I'm having to pay police to work court security. I feel a lot safer with that than hire people off a list.
Yeah.
I don't know what their qualifications are or what really where they would stand if they had to take force against someone.
Yeah.
So I'd rather pay, but the police officers haven't been paid since they've been giving us security, so that's why I need that 22,000 to give them back pay, overtime pay, and then open the 3 bailiff positions so I can have those funds to pay ongoing.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Okay.
I apologize, John, did you say 3 bailiff positions?
There are 3 bailiff positions.
Okay, I'm sorry, I put 1 on the sheet, so that needs to be 3 bailiff positions.
Full-time, part-time?
They're part-time.
So all
But
3 of
now
these
those that's
listed
court
here are actually
security, those are
bailiffs,
police officers.
not.
No, the
No.
part-time bailiff needs to be 3 instead of 1.
Those
And
And
then
two
you've got the
part-time
admin
assistants,
assistant.
and a full-time clerk, and a full-time admin assistant.
Yes.
All of these, okay.
Yes.
Because
The
the
bailiff
bailiff
are-
can, will be
the bailiff
paid
are
out of
part-time.
court funds, and not, I won't ask for any general fund.
You're good, I just wanna make sure that this was right. So you're basically asking for 7 positions, right?
Yeah.
Cause he's saying 3 bailiffs, 2
Yeah.
part-time admin assistants, a full-time court clerk, a full-time admin assistant.
Wait, no?
No, 3
That's what
bailiffs,
I had in here.
or funding 3 bailiffs. Got one full-time position, court clerk,
These are all bailiffs.
and 1 part-time, I'm sorry, 1 admin full-time, and 1 part-time.
Okay.
So there's 6.
Okay, so you take off one of the part-time.
So,
admin
yeah, so one of the
assistants.
part-time admin assistants is, no, so that's still right, there's still 3 bailiffs, 1 part-time, this one, and then
For
those
6
three-
positions.
There's 6 positions, instead of 7. Okay.
All right, everybody clear? As clear as can be.
Can I ask, so the 3rd bailiff position, is that the one that just resigned today?
No, that was a court clerk.
Court clerk,
That was a
okay.
full-time court clerk, but that will be replaced, but that's all.
Because that was already gone. I got you.
We need to figure out our retention strategy over there.
And John, I know it's been a challenge to find bailiffs. Can you still continue, I mean, even if, can the police officers overtime, could they apply for that?
From what I understand from Melody, the time that the police officers work as the court security will be overtime, but it can be taken from one of our
Your
court
funds.
accounts to pay that overtime.
Okay,
So that we'll keep up with it.
Right.
And we'll pay it so that it won't come out of the police budget.
okay.
And I just feel safer about having Homewood police officers in the
Sure.
courtroom than somebody off the list that I don't know and don't really know what they can do as far as court
Yeah.
without being sued. So-
Right. Well, I mean, I think, just having somebody, they're in that building with you, so they're familiar with the process, so that probably makes it. And I just thought if you have any trouble finding people, because as we know, it's hard to find people
Yes.
these days, that maybe, that could continue to happen until, we can get some
I'm hoping
bodies
so.
in there.
I'm hoping we can just keep it like that.
Okay.
Like it is.
Okay. Right, well, I would make a motion to, approve the budget amendments, to cover the overtime, and then also for the 6 new, fund the 6 new positions for the court, to come out of the court fund.
Second.
Yeah, that was the second. by
Second.
Mr. Walker.
Just know too that if I get into the hiring process and I see that the staff that I do have steps up, because like I said, I lost 1 today, which was a good thing for us. I won't hire if it's not needed, so. If budget's there, great. If I don't need it, I won't need it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed by the same sign. 4-0, that passes. Anything else we need to take up? All right, if not, we are adjourned.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, John.
It's still early. It'll.
Public Safety Committee meeting February 5th, 2024. Counselor Gwaltney.
Here.
Wolverton.
Here.
Jones.
Here.
Nelms.
Here.
Harden.
Here.
Full house.
Thank you, Mr. Segris. This time I'll entertain a motion to dispense with the reading and approve of the minutes from the Public Safety Committee meeting from January 22nd.
So moved.
Second.
Counselor Harden with the motion, Counselor Nelms with the second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it, 4-0. Under old business, we have no items. Under new business, we have 140124, request for permission to add a crosswalk with pedestrian signals at Salter Road and South Wellington Road, coming from Cale Smith.
That's for the park, I guess. Let's get to the park.
So here is where the new Salter Pocket Park is. Here, this driveway is existing and will stay there. We'd like to connect on the north side of the page to the Pocket Park. There are steps that are existing that come up through a sidewalk into the park. And this is all this is, just to create an ordinance for a crosswalk with RRFBs. We've already purchased the RRFBs, the flashing beacons. So this is just to get the
And
approval.
Cal, didn't you tell me we're gonna extend the sidewalk?
To the crosswalk.
To the
yeah,
crosswalk,
yeah.
right, we're
Our-
just, it's
our
like 10
public
feet or
works folks,
something.
Yeah, Berkeley and his guys.
Yeah, y'all are gonna do it, yeah,
Yep.
okay. Cause I had somebody already ask me that, like,
Yeah.
yes, we're gonna extend the sidewalk.
I don't know why we cut it 20 feet short. But
Yeah, I don't know either.
I have a question.
Man, I don't know.
Yes, sir, Mr. Jones.
How can we get those working correctly? The ones on Central are all out. So how do we ensure that we can keep those illuminated?
Yeah, so the ones on Central, you're talking about the ones that are down there now currently?
Yeah, that were lighted on the ground.
Right.
And people have driven over them and they no longer work.
Yeah, so these are gonna be flashing, so.
So these aren't gonna be on the roadway
These aren't gonna
like
be on the
like in
roadway.
Central?
It's
Okay.
gonna be like an LED light. They're at Shades and Broadway now, if you drive by there.
Okay.
If you walk up and you hit the button, and then they start flashing to let folks know that
Okay.
something's going on.
Okay, so these are in the roadway.
And we're gonna get new ones on Central in the Reed Street project.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, perfect. That's all I have.
Very excited to get that done.
Thank you, Councilor Jones. Are there any other questions? Okay. Is there a motion for approval?
I'll make a motion to request to.
Second.
Permission to add a crosswalk
Alright,
pedestrian signal at Salter and South Wellington.
She beat you to
Second.
it. Okay, Counselor Harden, Counselor Nellis. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. 4-0. Is he in here? Okay.
Stepped out.
All right, 150124, request for consideration of a special events liquor license at the Battery, 2821 Central Avenue, coming from Mr. Stevens and JJ Bischoff. You gonna?
Yeah, we're gonna do a crawfish bowl. We wanna do a crawfish bowl for the third year, benefiting Restoration Academy. And we wanna do it in the parking lot. And we're gonna do draft beer and a crawfish bowl and do it for charity.
Sounds good. And this is limited to your parking lot?
Yeah,
Same
it'll
as
be
last year?
limited, yeah, it'll be barricaded within the confines of the parking lot, it'll be all outside, tents, TVs, watch the basketball tournament.
March, what's the date?
March 21st. It'll run from 10:30 in the morning to 6 p.m.
Any other questions?
What is required of the committee in terms of the liquor license?
Yeah, they just have to go to apply, I think because it's coming through from ABC to us. No objection, you said?
Just having no objection,
Yes,
just
sir.
as a normal,
It's like the
okay,
same
okay.
Alright.
Yeah, then I would move this, having no objection to the special event liquor license for the Battery. And
Motion from
what's the
Councilor
date?
Jones.
March 21st.
March 21st, you said that.
Thursday.
Is there a second? Second by Councilor Harden. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it, 4-0. Thank you for being here, I appreciate that. 160124, request for considerations for a special event liquor license for the Taste of Homewood on the City Hall Plaza. Meredith Drennan from the Chamber and Mr. Bischoff. Are you covering this one?
Meredith didn't hear yet, but it's just gonna be so they can have the Taste of Homewood on the plaza. And the mayor's already signed the letter of release showing that they'll be using it for that night.
Okay.
What's the date on that one?
It's March the, do I know what that is?
It's the 21st.
Homewood is March
Oh, is it March 21st too?
Oh, okay.
Lots of ways to hang out and
Food on the plaza.
Take the
everybody can just walk around.
Take that entertainment
That's
district,
right.
walk on down.
That's
I
right.
guess that won't go to me next.
There
you go.
Right down.
Established.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll move for having no objection to the special event liquor license for Taste of Homewood on March 21st.
All right, we have a motion from Councilor Jones. Second. Second from Councilor Harden. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Ayes have it, 4-0. And with that, public safety is adjourned.
Come on, Public Works.
We'll do better. Thank you.
Andrew?
You don't want to just do it again?
Before we get started, did you send out minutes for Public Works? How would I have received those?
Through email.
Did y'all get any?
See, Melanie said she didn't get them either.
Well, that was last week, but I've gotten them this week. Did you get any minutes or Public Works just missing?
I didn't get any minutes.
All right.
You ready?
Yes, sir.
Public Works Committee meeting for February 5th, 2024. Councilor Wolverton.
Here.
Gear.
Here.
Sims.
Here.
Nelms.
Here.
Harden.
Here.
Everybody's here.
All right, so it sounds like we are going to carry over the approval of minutes from last meeting. We have no old business. We're gonna go to new business 170124, request for consideration to permit replacement of existing retaining wall in the right of way at 608 Warwick Road, brought to us by Kathy Welch and Wyatt Pugh.
Kevin Misso's here to explain what the situation is. Kevin, if you just wanna let them know what you've done.
Okay, we've got, existing retaining wall that flooded on, May 15, 16 of last year, fell into the street. I got a text by our building inspector that the wall fell. I didn't even realize it. We went back and replaced the wall in the existing footprint of this wall and just exposed the manhole that was under the old wall.
Okay.
So what are we doing? What are you requesting?
He'll need an
He needs a permit.
indemnification agreement for that wall to be in the right of way.
Kevin.
So it's already been done?
It's already.
Misso, M-I-S-S-O.
Thanks, man.
But you can see where the property line is, the red arrow points to where the property line is, that's where the right of way starts. So the bulk of that, what you're seeing there is in the right of way.
Sir, could you mention again, which you said you uncovered a manhole? Was there anything done? in
Not a
regards to-
manhole, water line access.
Water, so
Yeah,
like.
cut off.
Okay. And then about, in regards to the drainage, is there anything, stormwater wise as far as done with that property? Or is it just run off straight off the landscape into the street?
They've landscaped it since this picture, since last year, but it still just runs straight into the street.
Okay.
I think I got pine straw mulch and bushes up.
If you look
The
down there,
client did.
scroll down, Brian, there is a little corrugated plastic piece down there, yeah.
Okay.
So there's some sort of drainage.
Yeah, I just wondered, what type of drainage system it was using to make
Is
sure.
that
it
the
was-
only drain in that whole wall?
I'm not certain.
Didn't you build a wall?
We built a lot of walls. I have to go back and look if there's enough.
Yeah, I mean, I was just wondering as far as like, in regards to the, making sure it hopefully doesn't fall in the street again and
Right.
it doesn't like build up, and.
Yeah, that's a great question. It's an engineered wall. I could send y'all a detail if y'all needed to look at it.
I mean, I guess that's the question. I mean, why, although they didn't get it approval to work in the right of way, I mean, were the plans reviewed?
No, nothing was reviewed, but that's a stacked stone wall, is that right?
It is.
Yeah, the stacked stone systems, they come pre-engineered, so there's really no engineering that needs to be done before you
And if it
construct it.
falls under the beautification agreement, they have to fix it.
Okay.
Or if we have to, they have to pay us.
So just to be clear, there was no previous indemnification agreement for the wall that existed prior?
It was on the right of way to begin with, the original wall book.
But never got indemnified.
Look at all the weep holes and yet it still fell.
Really old.
Yeah, it's just brick that just probably didn't have enough structure behind it. Okay.
All right. So it's just an administrative piece, basically.
Do we
Right.
refer to council with?
You can make a recommendation to refer to council approval pending proper indemnification agreement. Yeah. All right, motion by Counselor Gear.
I'll second.
Second by Counselor Harden. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, 5-0 to go out to council next week. With that, we stand adjourned.
Thank you.
Next week, so everybody votes on it.
Me too. Me too.
Special Issues Committee meeting for February the 5th, 2024. Counselor Smith.
Here.
Gear.
Here.
Alaman. Sims.
Here.
Andrews.
Here.
We have 4, and I think we're gonna carry over the approval of our minutes as well, because we didn't realize until just now that we don't have to. So we'll carry that over to the next meeting.
Bad.
We have no old business, and for new business, we have 3 items. The first being 180124, request for permission for a tent in the city right of way in front of Track Shack from February 21st through February 25th. Coming from you, Ms. Andrus, you want to tell us what that is?
Yeah, I have my friend Jeff Martinez is here, one of the owners of the Track Shack, and Jeff is also a former, produced the Mercedes Marathon, and so this is unfortunately, sadly, no longer with us, and so Jeff is here to offer the running community something in lieu of, so he's here to talk about that.
Yeah, and we probably are gonna change the dates too. Instead of doing the full from Wednesday all the way through Sunday, we were thinking maybe just Friday, Saturday, Sunday, so it wouldn't be out there as long. But we've always had an expo with tons of sales and discounts and things like that for the running community and whoever ran Mercedes, and so we wanted to replace that with possibly a sidewalk sale that weekend. We're just gonna put a tent out front and bring all our extra inventory from our other two shops to Homewood and have it outside for the day, and then move it back into the store overnight, and then so every morning it would be just back out underneath the tent. So.
All right, so it would have been marathon weekend.
Ish.
Yeah,
Somewhere
marathon
in the
weekend would have
vicinity
been
of
this
it.
weekend.
Okay, oh,
Yeah,
that's right.
so,
It's all been
so.
early. Okay, and so instead of February 21st to the 25th, it would be?
It would be the 23rd, 24th, and 25th.
Okay, 23rd to the 25th, okay.
And do you know the size of the tent?
How big is the tent?
Yes, you have.
I
the
was
dimensions.
thinking like 20 by 20, so it wouldn't, we've put a 10 by 20 out in front before. It doesn't take a whole lot of space, and so I don't think we'd need a very big tent. I think 20 by 20 would be big enough. And I was gonna rent that from someone, so it's not gonna be a shabby tent out there. Anything
Yeah,
like that, so.
well, if you could, we can do this tonight, but before we do the resolution in the meeting next week, could you text Jennifer, just get some definite
Sure.
dimensions, and that way he can put that into the
Of course,
the
yeah.
resolution.
That will be an indemnification agreement.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you could just shoot that to Jennifer, and we'll get that
Okay.
into it for when
Yeah.
we do the resolution next week.
I can do that.
Okay,
So there's no run, there's just a sale.
Just have
Yeah, they usually have a ton of stuff at the expo.
T-I-N, spell it Martinez.
Yeah.
Okay. Pronounced differently.
I will make a motion to approve, tent in the right of way, February 23rd, 4th, and 5th.
Okay, all right, have a motion.
Second.
I got was that you, Ms. Gibbs? Second. Okay,
Thank you,
all in
guys.
favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right, 4-0, that passes. All right, 190124, request for permission to use the plaza, the Soho Plaza, for the Vulcan Vault competition in July again. Chris, come on up. And I don't think, did you need Jeff to sign in?
No, I got
Okay,
it.
okay, you got it. Okay, come
Chris,
on up.
what's the last name?
Spear, S-P-E-A-R.
All right, tell us about, oh, you even have a shirt?
Hey, that's my shirt I had from last year. So I
Awesome,
wore it,
okay,
so.
awesome.
Well, first we did the Vulcan Vault last year, the 8th. I don't know, I know several of y'all came, so thank y'all just for supporting. It was a lot for the first year in a very short amount of time, so thank y'all for coming. This year we're looking to do it the 12th and 13th. Actually, Jeff was one of our sponsors last year, so I appreciate that too. But we're looking at doing it the 12th and 13th this year. 12th, like afternoon, late night for part of the competition, and then all day on the 13th, and then ending with the elite again on that night. Could we slip to the next slide? Thank you. I did want to show a quick video from last year. I don't know if there's music, but okay, thank you. Our little college and That's our intern. He's a marketing major, so he's doing this as kind of like a help to me, as well as marketing for him in the future. So, so last year we did 2 runways. We had 136 participants and we turned away 52. We were expecting anywhere from 80 to 100. We got way more than we thought we were going to. And I've been contacted already about 100 that want to come beyond that extra 50. So we're looking at a way to try to make it where we can scale if need be. So we were looking at possibly being allowed to set up on Thursday afternoon, so that way we could start the competition on Friday. It takes forever to put up. I think some of y'all saw us set up. It took for a while. We can skip through this. It's not a big deal. I just went through a little recap.
71 years old doing that.
That's crazy.
Yeah, we had a 71-year-old last year.
That's
Jumped. He jumped 10.6.
Wow.
So this is kind of the basic proposal for the plan of setup. Is Thursday setup. We were looking at changing the orientation. I'll show that at the end. But we would have to shut down 19th Street, but it would still allow access into Jack's. I know that's always a big issue if you ever shut down that road.
Yeah.
But it still would not affect their in and out with the way we've got it planned. But we would shut down that road just for Friday and Saturday, and then we would have everything off the road so it's back open on Sunday. Could we skip to the last slide, I think I already explained the reason. The reasoning obviously is because as we scale up, last year you gave us no way to scale up to add more athletes if need be. So the next slide will show you kind of what we were thinking. So last year we had the pits going this direction. We had 2 of them. This allows us to go pit 1, pit 2, and if we need be, we can add a 3rd and even a 4th if we have to. It goes into, but it does go into 19th Street. It would still allow access into Jack's parking lot this way and exit out that way, but would prevent anything from going southbound from 19th Street that direction. That's the only hindrance in the plan. But that was just the thought.
Is that part of the request, or is that something that you go through HPD for?
I was about to say, that's gonna be something that is gonna have to filter through. That's not a us thing.
Okay.
Anytime you shut down roads, you have to go through the
Permitting.
police department.
Okay.
Because that's their domain.
Okay.
You should reach out to Sergeant Jimmy King. That's who you're gonna wanna talk to,
Okay.
is Jimmy King.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll get his contact before
Yeah.
we
Okay.
do tonight.
So we can't necessarily approve that because that is something that's outside of our, yeah.
We can approve that.
Well,
But-
yes.
But I don't think we want to without talking.
Without talking, yeah,
Right,
no, I
gotcha.
think we've gotta loop them in before we start
Right.
doing that.
And if
I mean, we can approve y'all using the plaza.
Okay.
We just can't approve that exact
Layout.
layout yet
Okay.
because we need to get, the police department to weigh in on whether they're okay with closing the street
all
down.
right, that's wonderful. That's-
And we got lots of positive feedback from people
Oh, yeah.
about it. It was really, nothing but positive things that people had to say. They thought it was really cool. Anyways,
Question?
yeah.
So, remind me, do you like having these in the middle of city centers as opposed to on athletic fields, or?
Well, it brings it to a different group of people that never see something like this.
Right.
So if you do an event, we've done an event in parks, they don't last. They're one year and they're gone. Nobody comes. So when you have it in a city center, people end up seeing something that they've never seen before. If it's in a park, there's no secondary draw. There's no restaurants, there's no bars, there's nowhere to just, that people are already migrating to. So when you have these big events, people tend to stay, spend money, and end up, spending more in the community.
It's like
So
that
I
kind of
guess the
thing.
question is, do we want to allow it to be this big? Because we could still keep it
Yeah,
small.
that's
Yeah, I mean, it brought
It's
brought so many people out last year.
No, but I'm saying to cut off block streets and things.
I mean,
Well, I
if
mean,
it's
that's not our
blocking-
decision. That,
And if
I
it's
mean-
not blocking, if you can still get into Jack's.
Well, I mean, it's our decision to let them use the plaza, but if the police department,
Council controls the streets also.
but I thought we have to loop the police in.
No, we can do whatever
I
we
think,
want
yeah,
with
let
their
me be clear.
recommendation.
I think we're authorized, we are capable of
Right.
closing a street. I guess what I was saying, and I think what you're saying
Yeah.
is, before we do that, we would like to hear what the police's
Yes.
opinion is on
Right.
it, before we just close it and then the police show up and say,
Like, why are
hey,
you
this
doing
was a
this?
bad idea
Right.
because of this reason that none of
Yeah.
us would think of.
Right.
So for tonight, at least, and probably next week, I would suggest we just concentrate on the plaza, and then if we need to come back and do the street at some point, then
Yes, we can do that.
Well, the facility use agreement, it always has a diagram that shows what plaza use they're gonna make.
Right.
So I'd recommend if you're gonna ask for police input, you carry this over.
Until we
you can
get
make
there.
a determination what the layout's gonna be.
Okay. All right, we can definitely do that. Okay, so, yes.
No, I just wanted to echo to that point, since I'm not on the committee, but this kind of activation on the plaza is exactly what we're looking for, because it helps the vibrancy of the community. It also brings people into the plaza for maybe one day us doing some future changes to it that are, for events like this. So I think this is great. I like it.
There's hundreds and hundreds of people eating in our restaurants and shopping in our shops and at our downtown. I mean, that is what it's for, is the front door of our city. That's what it's for.
Chris, quick question.
Okay.
The west side of the street across from, parallel to City Hall, you're wanting to close that lane from corner to corner, right?
What, this.
No, there's Jack's down there on the
Jack's
bottom.
is right here, sorry.
It's not
It kinda got cut off, but that's Jack's right here.
The lane parallel.
It's just, you can still get into Jack's.
You can still get in Jack's from this
I
exit.
think it's like from,
Exit
like
out
where
that
Soho
way.
Social is to Social Taco.
But I'm saying, you're looking at closing the whole other side so that you're not looking at folks trying to, turn around, like it's just gonna be one way in and one way out.
Just one way in, one way out. So the only entrance in would be this way, and the only exit out would be that way, and this would be blocked off, so you can't go down this road this way.
Right. So, but you might as well do it on the other side, right?
Right, I mean, you wouldn't go, no
Right.
one's coming out this way, cause that's a one-way anyway.
Right, so I'm asking, you're looking at blocking that lane from
Yes, ma'am.
the whole block?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
But I think you would still, because you'd have to allow people to get into the parking deck underneath, because.
Benches.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what I was gonna ask, cause that, when you made that point about about changes to the plaza, as an event person, there's certain things, obviously, the planters are massive and they can't be moved, and I understand that.
No, I didn't mean today. This
Yeah,
would be
yeah,
like
yeah.
long-term turf,
I get
different
it.
things like a scrape of it and
Right.
starting over.
But I'm just saying, as a event person, that's extremely hard to.
Yeah,
turn around.
sorry, I didn't mean for you
Yeah.
to do it.
But that, there is what are those things? What are the pylons? Does anybody know those pylons?
Stanchions?
Stanchions.
Bollards, yeah.
Yeah. Some of them come up, and I know the ones that are the lit aren't, they can't come up, so, I think one or two of them would have to be taken out for us to do it the way we've planned, but I think they can be moved.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, they
So-
can be, yeah, because that used to, you could actually access,
Okay.
vehicles could actually access the.
I think they need to vault over the fountain.
Yeah, please don't
That'd
make
be
me
for
do
an
that.
alternative. Look, he's
Yeah,
like,
please
no,
don't.
thank you. Insurance?
Insurance and liability wise, please don't.
Okay, so what we'll probably do then is, we'll get you, Jimmy King's contact information so that you can get in touch with him.
I've got it. Oh, you got it?
Okay, you got, okay, good.
All right, well, that's
and,
for Andy as well.
okay.
Thank you.
And so what we'll do is we'll carry this over, and then, because since this isn't until July, we have a little bit of time.
Okay.
But if you can contact him, and then we'll come back when we have our meeting. Are we doing committees on President's Day? We are,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember if we had, okay, so
No
that would be the
holiday.
19th.
Okay.
So then hopefully by then, we will talk to him, and then we can come back and
All right.
go through it all.
As far as a date, do we know that that's still available for that date, July 12th or 13th?
JJ, do you know, for the dates, do you know if that would be available?
I'm pretty sure I'll check with them
Okay.
tomorrow.
Okay. Because the only thing I could think of is if there was a wedding reception.
Well, Sunday is the
Church.
but other than that, it may work out.
Okay.
I'll find out the call.
Okay, 'cause I've gotta start
Yeah.
gathering sponsors and all that stuff, so.
Yeah, and signing people up. Okay, so if you'll call him, we'll find out about the availability, and then we'll circle back on the 19th and hopefully get that all taken care of. All right,
Okay.
sound good?
Counselor Smith, just
Yes.
really quick, have you mentioned this potential plan to Jax yet?
We talked to him a little bit last year, we can talk to him again this year, if you want me to get approval from them beforehand?
I don't think you need approval from them. I'm not saying that by any means. I just think we wanna make sure we communicate it if we go this direction, obviously. So I just wondered if you had talked to them yet.
Right. Well, I know they were really happy because we gave them a lot of business.
I bet you did. I mean,
So,
and so I think talking to them about the partnership is the great approach, because I mean, it is. I mean, it's not their normal business of as much drive-through maybe, which you're still giving them that option, but you're bringing them, you know, clientele in proximity. So it should be seen as a partnership.
yeah.
All right, Chris, thank you so much.
Thank y'all.
We'll get back together on the 19th. All right, so we'll carry 190124 over until our meeting on the 19th. And then we've got 200124, which is partners. This is kind of goes hand in hand with the public safety item, which is request for permission to use the plaza for Taste of Homewood from Meredith Drennan, Chamber of Commerce, JJ Bischoff. So
Meredith's not here, but it's the same thing for the Taste of Homewood. It's just for facilities use to use the plaza.
And they've had big success since they moved onto the plaza. It's been much better on the plaza than inside. Yeah.
I just copied the agreement we had last year.
Okay. All right. And what did we decide? It was on May 21st, March 21st? Is that what we decided? Yeah. Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve, request for permission of facility use on March 21st.
Okey-doke. For Taste of Homewood. All right. Motion for Ms. Andrews, second for Ms. Gear. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. 4-0. So that is approved. And with that, we are adjourned.
Who's